Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I'm here with David, and we are breaking down the tricks and tools and wisdom to help you navigate chaos. I don't particularly love the word chaos, but it definitely evokes an energy, a vibe that we want to address. And the truth is, navigating chaos means diminishing the chaos or that sense of chaos that sometimes happens. Obviously, in the world today, there is a deep knowing of what chaos is, and it couldn't be better timed. It's the new moon of Scorpio on Monday, and we're starting this new Scorpio energy that we can talk about a little bit. We talked a little bit about it last week, but really helping us to understand individually and collectively how we can let the pressure out of the pressure cooker so that when challenges do come up, they don't take over, they don't overtake our lives, and we can begin to see the light or the design beneath the disorder. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where David and I and our guests aim to provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical tools to navigate the coming 7 days. We do that by poring over the wisdom of Kabbalah to find the practical and profound tools and wisdom that match this week's energy, which inevitably provides timeless wisdom and timeless tools. And this week is no different. The state of the world, also the people that I work with personally, I don't know about you, David, but there's definitely the sense of like, what's going on here? And when I think of the word chaos personally, I guess it's a little bit triggering for me.
Yeah.
I don't love the word chaos.
We don't like to take the negative bent.
Exactly. I feel like chaos is what happens when we lose consciousness about the purposefulness of everything in our lives. When we forget that everything happens for a reason, that there is a cause and effect system at work in our universe, that's when things begin to feel chaotic.
Yeah, in these times, people really what they want more than anything is answers and knowledge and understanding, because I think people get scared when their stability is gone. And they're looking to us for wisdom about what's happening in a bigger picture. And I think that that's one area we can start, because we always have to go back to understanding what our journey here is in this world. It says that we came from a state of perfection called the endless. That gave birth to a process that is called the tikkun process, which is a finite amount of time. And in fact, time was created. The illusion of time, space, and motion was created for us to go through this process. And what that really means is that the souls came into this world, an illusionary world, filled with tests to help us have the free will to act like the creator and all the qualities of the creator. And that's the essence of what Kabbalah is. Before and beyond religion and all spiritualities, it's really the understanding of just why our soul came here and what we are meant to do about it. So in this period of time, all of our souls will undergo a process through interactions with each other, through relationships that we have with each other, through emotions and feelings that all come up. All of them are designed to help us become the perfected version of ourselves. So the third phase of this process is perfection. We are all guaranteed to reach the perfected version of ourselves. We're all guaranteed to become like the Creator. We already have this inside of us in a state of potential. And the fact that it is in a state of potential means that we can tap into it at any moment. So the Zohar, volume 8, the Zohar, which is the main Kabbalistic text decodifying the Bible and revealing the spirituality for all souls in this world, in volume 8 of the Zohar, it is very clear. Our perfection is guaranteed. You finding true love is guaranteed. You finding your purpose in this world is guaranteed. You having sustenance and peace of mind and certainty and all the feelings that we're all chasing, this is guaranteed. It is our spiritual birthright, and we will have that. We will tap into that. The question isn't if you will be fulfilled. The question is really two things. Number one, how long it will take. Will you achieve it in this lifetime? Will you achieve it in this year? Will you achieve it in this week? Will you achieve it today? So it's a function of time. That is your free will. And will you achieve it through pain, suffering, and chaos, or through a proactive sense of urgency to become different and change who we are? And we see this all the time with global catastrophes, especially on a global level. Everybody bands together. Everybody changes consciousness. Everybody gives more than they've ever given. Everybody demands some level of change. Not often internal change, but you need to change, right? So there's a sense of urgency of, oh my God, we got to do something. The real question is, why are we sending a signal to the universe, to the creator, that we will only change if there's chaos? We are training the universe. We're basically saying, hey, look.
You want me to be my best self? Bring me chaos.
Yeah. If you want me to really go to my next level and be a giving human being and inspire others and take responsibility in my own home and in my own community, my own friendships, I will only do so if I'm pushed to do so. If my fears are triggered, if my instability is triggered, then you got me. I will be spiritual. But when things are great and there's peace, I always say this, people have a hard time with peace. People have a hard time with having a good life. Everybody says they want a good life, but from what I've seen, as soon as somebody has a good life, they find a reason to fight with someone. People love the drama. People love the energy of breaking something and fixing it. It's like my kids, part of their chores is to vacuum every night before they go to bed. And when they don't have food on the floor, to hear that crunchy sound of vacuuming, they're very disappointed. So there's almost a subconscious need to create a mess so that when they clean it, they feel satisfied. Do you understand the depth of what I just said? For all of us in this world, we love creating chaos so that we have something to solve, so that we can feel strong, so we can feel mighty, so we can feel useful. And, I always say the joke, every plumber hopes your plumbing breaks. He's secretly praying that your toilet malfunctions. He's sitting at home with a photo of your toilet, throwing darts at it, saying, I hope this plumbing breaks because I need something to do. I need to be productive. So there are people in this world who only feel self-love, self-esteem when they're fixing something. So subconsciously, they want things to break. And so we all have to take responsibility for that in our own lives. We subconsciously might like that our friends are going through a tough time because then we can be there for them. As Kabbalah teachers, we have to ask ourselves the question, do we wish that everyone had a chaos-free life? And we'd be out of a job if you want to even call this a job, Elisheva. My point is, all of us who are of service or we have a product, we are subconsciously causing the chaos in this world because we desire the chaos. And so we need to change this mentality and this consciousness. And this is the week that helps us see that.
Well, I think in knowing the idea that Kabbalah teaches that we are here to be the cause, we are here to be the creators, to be the initiators, and to overcome the illusion, for example, of chaos and darkness and space. So in knowing that we are going to feel our most fulfilled, our most strong, our most capable, our most valued when we are working through something. The wisdom of Kabbalah actually says there is a choice here. You don't have to wait for chaos to take over to become that best version of you, to rise to the occasion, right? What do people say? Go home and hug your kids. You should be hugging your kids every day, regardless of what's happening to other children in other countries, or regardless of the state of chaos in the world. So the whole wisdom of Kabbalah basically teaches you a systematic approach to being the cause in any given moment. And if you've been listening to Weekly Energy Boost for any period of time, you know that we are focused on showing you a lay of the land and giving you the strategy to not be victim to the energy, to not fall prey to what's going on outside you energetically, and really take advantage of those opportunities. And to me, one of the greatest opportunities of this week is when you are sitting in the midst, let's say, of a chaotic storm. And, it doesn't have to be something life-threatening in order to conjure up the perception of chaos, right? It can be, I'm late to somewhere, one of the kids isn't feeling well, we don't have anything to eat for dinner. You know, it's like those Calgon moments when I was younger. When we were younger, there used to be this commercial for bath soap, I think it was, where, you know, the kettle's whistling and the baby's crying and the phone is ringing and the woman is just can't take it anymore, right? We all have these moments in our daily lives that don't merit thoughts and prayers, but are just really difficult, demanding moments. According to Kabbalah, by facing those parts of ourselves that awaken darkness, by facing those parts of us, we can preempt, we can get ahead of the chaos. We can tell the Creator, listen, I want to work through this difficult thing. I'm going to have this difficult conversation. I'm going to, shift my selfishness into something that's more than just about me, because I don't want the chaos to come to me in order to do that. So I think the best, if you're looking at any of what we're saying and thinking, oh, not my problem, or thank goodness, everything is calm, right? I don't know if we're raised to do this or it's just human nature to think that calm is a good sign. And maybe that's something we can talk about a little bit here, because when things are calm, we think it's because we're doing something right.
Right. I mean, on one hand, we're saying having a sense of internal urgency is so important. But then there are people that basically say, oh, stop with the urgency culture, right? Everything is always like, I got to do this, I got to do that, and they're freaking out. And I think we need to make the distinction, because we're really saying two things here. Number one, and this is the energy of this week. Number one, taking responsibility and finding where we have what's called destroyer consciousness, destruction consciousness, meaning I enjoy when things are dramatic or are destroyed so that I can rebuild it, because I need to do that. Find out where you have that. All of us, we need to find out, like, how do you feel about your siblings? Are you really happy that your sister got pregnant before you? Are you really happy that your brother got married before you? Are you really happy that your friends got more successful before you? Are you really happy when everyone is in a state of peace and joy, even if you're not? That might make you feel left out, lonely. Maybe it puts pressure on you that you're not doing enough. And to identify that and say, it's okay. It is okay if I'm falling behind. It is okay if everyone is finding their soulmate and happy and moving on in their life and I'm not. That's okay, because I am with the light of the Creator. And it's very important at that moment not to acknowledge that it is good, because if you don't acknowledge that it is good and bless them, you will subconsciously hope that they fall. That's evil eye and jealousy, and we've had many sessions about it. That's number one. Number two, the great Kabbalists, they didn't look agitated or frantic. They always were in a state of peace and calmness. In fact, they moved very slow, but they were extremely deliberate. And they knew their priorities and they knew what was important. When someone understands what their priorities are, they do not allow the outside thoughts, energies, and negative influences to sidetrack them. When we say have a sense of urgency, it means wake up in the morning and ask yourself, what is your priority? In the Kabbalah Centre, we talk about the priority being your relationship with the light of the Creator. When you wake up in the morning, are you putting that first? Is your first desire how to get closer, how to get deeper, how to learn more, how to pass your tests, how to overcome your fears? Is your first priority knowing that you have a meeting in 3 hours, and in this meeting you will be triggered, or you are not going to enjoy it, or most likely you are going to complain all the way up to the meeting and say, wait, my number one goal here is good consciousness, not engaging in negative thoughts, not engaging in negative speech, and accepting that even if this is not good, I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless. This is all part of spiritual work. However, when we wake up in the morning, usually we have other desires that are coming in, prioritizing the desire to be with the light. These are desires of, I need respect, I need to be loved, I need this energy, I need that energy. Whatever my addiction is at that moment, I need it to be fed. And then yes, spirituality, I'll listen to the weekly energy boost, a couple hours, or whatever spiritual thing I'm doing to be better. So when you flip when you put the things in the right order, this is what urgency is. You don't have to be frantic. In fact, you should be very calm around people. Inside of yourself, it's about having the grit and the consistency of putting your spiritual work first.
You actually bring up a very subtle but important point about jealousy. And this is something that the Kabbalists teach. It's very much connected to this month because Scorpios specifically, and well, maybe I should say not spiritual Scorpios, have a propensity for jealousy. They tend to see, if you have something that I want, that's bad for me.
Right.
Where the Kabbalists teach that there's enough, what's mine is mine, and you can't take what's mine away from me. And the only way I can take it away is actually by being jealous. And it's a very interesting, I think it's a very nuanced teaching, because the idea that we take energy away from people just through our consciousness. So, seeing somebody, I don't know, you may even be in a relationship, but you see another couple behaving in a way that you wish you would in your relationship. So that trigger causes not only you to take energy from the couple that you're watching on the street, but actually takes energy out of your own relationship. So then chaos, it basically jumpstarts the function of chaos in your life, so that then you work on repair and getting closer in your relationship. Or if you're not in a relationship and you're looking at the affectionate couple on the street or whatever at the restaurant, that will create an opening for chaos in your own life to restore the energy, the vacuum that you've created with your jealousy. So the whole idea of being mindful or being conscious when you're triggered, not to allow that trigger to then snowball into chaos, is a really important practice. It's not just for this week or the month of Scorpio, but rather, as you see an inevitable emotional trigger, maybe that being around certain people makes you feel insecure or needy, or it's the end of the world. Do you avoid them? Do you spend time with them and you work on your consciousness? The important thing is to remember that my perspective is what determines if it plays out into a chaotic situation or not. It's not something outside of myself that creates chaos. It's my perception that creates chaos.
All pain is indication that your priorities are out of order. We all are trying to do the right thing. We're trying to do our best. But when the pain comes, and when that pain escalates into chaos, which is just the illogical that's out of our control, it can be personally in your life or on a global level if it affects you. That means that I have to look inside myself and ask myself, where's my energy going? And if my thoughts, my words, my actions are going towards my addictions and me being reactive, or just trying to fix things all day long, or even worse, as we said, contributing to my trying to cause micro problems so that I can...
It's so funny. I wanted to talk about that.
Swoop in. I can just swoop in. Very subtle micro problems. We're not going to actually be the face of causing problems for other people. We're not going to do a PR campaign for causing problems, but we're going to very subtly hope that other people are not rising too high above us, either just staying at our level or staying low, so that we can be in a state of power and position. And this is one of the main causes of chaos in our own lives, is that we are subconsciously hoping that other people go through chaos as well.
What about people that like to cause drama and chaos? How do we manage
and they're
those
vocal
relationships?
about it? I mean, they're conscious of that?
No, I'm saying we're mindful, spiritual, trying to transform and grow. Inevitably, we'll see in our cast of characters somebody who creates drama, is into, did you hear what happened? Did you hear, maybe it's somebody in our family. I think that's actually probably more common for people, is that there's somebody in our families who's, busy is like the reporter, the gossip mag reporter for the family. Did you hear what happened? Do you know what's going on? So and so this, no. And it's triggering.
That's
For me personally, I don't want to hear what's going on.
That's right.
And how do you say, listen, I don't want to hear it, tell someone else without then causing chaos between you and them?
Well, let's first understand if we are that person. I always try to ask the question, what's the point of what I'm about to do? What's the point of what I'm about to say? Is this more because I'm trying to take energy from this person or take energy from the situation because I feel empty? A good example of this could be you're in a meeting, you're on a Zoom with 3, 5, 10 people, and you're discussing a problem. Many times, and I find myself being guilty of this, you want to say something just to look important or to look like you're adding value or to make other people feel that you are relevant, but you're not actually solving the issue. Someone with tremendous self-confidence and self-esteem might just actually shut up the whole meeting, but behind the scenes be working on fixing the problem. And then one by one, going and diplomatically getting everybody on board. So the real question is, are you thinking about the big picture of truly how to build and add value? Or are you looking at just how to take energy in the moment? And this is the difference between the builder and the destroyer. The one who truly values peace versus the one who gets energy from drama. Always ask yourself the question, is what I'm doing big picture or small picture? We were in Israel a couple weeks ago, and one of our senior teachers, he said that our teacher, Rav Berg, had this commentary about ego. He said, there's nothing wrong with having an ego because people with ego, they have confidence and they build and they create and they do stuff. He said the problem is when you have a small ego. We all need to have big ego. What is big ego? Big ego means that you're really thinking about the whole picture. You want it all. When you have a small ego, you're just looking for how you can fulfill your temporary desires in the moment or in these next 5 minutes. I want your approval for 5 minutes. That's small ego. That's what's destroying the world. Somebody who wants approval to feel good for 5 minutes and then they feel empty again and they need more approval. This is what is bringing chaos to the world. Big ego, people with big ego don't even care what you think about them. They have a job, they have a mission, they believe in themselves, they believe in their product, and they just go manifest it. They don't care. Even if thousands of people tell them, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're making a mistake, they could care less. This is big ego. It's very good. It's very good to have big ego.
I think also when we think about the times in our lives where we have been forced to grow and to change, those times, while we were experiencing them, of course, were very difficult and we may have labeled as chaotic. Looking back on them, of course, you can see the good. And that's something that I would recommend everybody sit down and really think about, meditate on, take inventory on. When in the past, when you've experienced a period of chaos, how did you grow? What did you learn? What were the points of transformation or elevation that you were able to achieve? And that's another way to preempt future, the universe needing to send you a sandstorm in order for you to grow. And apropos what the Rav said about ego, the Rav always used to say, when something is wrong, when you have a challenge in your life, at least you know what you need to be working on. When things are calm and tranquil, you need to worry what's happening beneath the surface that you're not aware of. And so as Kabbalah students, we learn to look at the challenges, or maybe we shouldn't even call it a challenge, but when you're able to acknowledge areas of growth in your own life, in your own, within yourself, but also in the relationships that you can transform, in the, sometimes you realize, wow, I really need to be giving energy to this person, or I feel something has happened between me and that person and I want to address it, I want to face it. That to-do list, working proactively on that to-do list of your own opportunities for growth and transformation is literally the antidote for, or it's not even the antidote, it's preventative medicine against that chaos that, the Rav always also used to say, it's the people that seek comfort that are always going to be uncomfortable. When you're willing to be uncomfortable, you're willing to go through what it takes to accomplish, to achieve, to manifest, when you're willing to do the work. And I'm not talking about, staying up till 2:00 in the morning to work on a project, which for a lot of people is probably more comfortable than doing the kind of work we're talking about here. To really dig deep and surrender, let go, humble yourself, admit you were wrong, ask for help. Those kind of things that make you feel like you're coming out of your skin, that gives you a stomach ache, that you literally run from. Those are the things, because the universe says, okay, looks at that person that is willing to do those things and says, you know what? They're embracing their challenges. They're willing to go through the rough waters in order to grow and transform. I don't need to rock the boat for them. They are rocking it. They are moving so fiercely. They're rocking the boat themselves. I don't need to be a part of that. And as many years as we've been teaching and we've been doing this work, we all fall into those moments of complacency during the year. And maybe in the last couple of months, the spiritual work has been focused and driven by the cosmic windows, the months, the energies of the weeks, the different windows in time we've been connecting to. And we're now like in about a 2-month period where it really is easy to sit back and relax a little bit, because the work does seem to be not diminished, but at least less intense. This is the time to really be proactive about that. This is the time to really, like I said before, look at those chaotic moments in life and remind yourself how you grew, what qualities emerged from you as a result of of the boat being rocked so vigorously, and how can you create those opportunities for that growth without needing external forces to rock your boat.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I think in summary, we want people to know that this is the week that exposes the positive side of chaos, meaning we do not have to wait to be pushed or have our back against the wall to transform. The two things we can do proactively is constantly ask ourselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? Is it for temporary energy, or I'm actually thinking about the big picture? And number two, do I really want this person or this situation to succeed, even if I'm not part of that? Even if I don't actually benefit from it right away, am I looking for their success? Am I subconsciously giving them evil eye and hoping that they have drama and fail so that I can swoop in and be a savior, so that I can be the helper? And we have to take responsibility for that. And the energy of this week will help us cleanse that, see it and cleanse it completely.
And I think, again, for those of us that are doing this work for an extended period of time, it's an opportunity to take stock and to see where you're becoming complacent, where your goal is peace and tranquility, where you don't want to rock the boat, and take the opportunity to do that internal work this week. To that point, we wanted to remind everyone that starting this week, in every location, in every language, we are offering the level Kabbalah 1 course all over the world. So wherever you are, if you're in LA, David's going to be giving it starting next week, right?
Yeah, October 25th. I mean, it's pretty much sold out. So we might even open one on Thursday, the 26th as well.
Wow. Okay. So there you have that. We have the global English Kabbalah one that starts Wednesday, this week, the 18th, with Eitan and I. Yep. And every language, every location is opening up. I think by November 2nd, we'll have every language and every location with a new level 1 course. You can go to weeklyenergyboost.com, click the link there. It'll take you to the page. We even have classes for teens and preteens opening up. This is really we're trying to give 2023 a run for its money. So if you have not yet taken Kabbalah 1, or if you have friends and family who haven't taken it yet, do it with them. Click the link, find the one that works best for you. You can join from anywhere in the world. So it really, the Zoom ones are really effective in that way. And of course, if you can take it in person, all the more better to have that interaction and that engagement. You can also go to weeklyenergyboost.com to find our archives, to learn more about the things we think are important and the guests that we've had on the show, as well as click the donate button and continue to contribute and support Weekly Energy Boost to keep on going. As well as, of course, please share this episode, like, rate, and review if you're listening on podcast apps. And we'll see you next week, Weekly Energy Boost.